Here I must say that I actually don't believe in the power of education here. And I'll explain why. I know, precisely, because education cannot go contrary to the defining narrative of a people. You cannot ask a people to educate their children against what they believe in. So they need to change what they believe in, and then they will change how they educate. It cannot go the other way around. We cannot begin to fight them on whether it's in this book or in that book, because fundamentally they are, in their view at this moment, fighting a battle for justice. The fact that the injustice in their mind is the very existence of the sovereign state of the Jewish people, that's one thing. But in their mind, they're fighting a battle for justice, for restoration of what is their due. We cannot in any way get them to educate their children against this idea. When will they do that? When they acknowledge that they have lost. Then they will begin to educate differently. So here I believe power must precede education. Education cannot precede the changing of the power relations. First, there has to be an understanding that the power situation has changed, and therefore, then they will begin to change the story. Now, I'm going to say something very crazy here. I typically say it in small groups after I've established some credibility, but let me give it a shot. And two factors are important for what I'm going to say. I'm an atheist, and I am a former politician. My atheism is important because ultimately religions are not what about God said, it's about what humans say that God said. In the Book of Mormon, if you've seen that wonderful musical in New York, there's a great phrase that said that God decided that he liked black people in 1978. So we change our interpretation of what God says to fit the changing time and values, and the brilliance of religion is to always make it seem as if it were always so. But ultimately, religion, every religion, is in the hands of its interpreters, and Islam in that sense is no different. Now, I'm also a politician. What does this mean? My short career in politics taught me that it is in the nature of power that no one gives it up voluntarily. You want power, you have to pry it from the cold dead hands of those who hold it. So, if the Jewish people are challenging long-established power relations, we need to understand that it's a long-haul battle with backlash. So what will ultimately lead to victory in changing education, at the moment when the power structure is such that the Arab world fundamentally understands that the idea that the Jewish people can be made to disappear is a delusion, we will see the rise of a new idea. And the idea is called, and this is a trigger alert, the idea is called Islamic Zionism. Calm down for a minute. What is this Islamic Zionism? The Palestinians and the Arabs will never admit defeat. That's not going to happen. Do you ever admit defeat? No. What do we say? We've learned. I grew. It was such an important experience. We never say I failed. We rewrite our lives to turn our defeats into triumphs, right? That's what humans do. So the Arabs and Palestinians will one day, acknowledging the realities of power, rewrite their history, their theology, to acknowledge the Jewish presence here as part of their view, that the Jews came here because that's how it should have been by Islam. We tested the Jews for about 100, 200 years. They proved themselves to be worthy of the test. Therefore, it means that they have truly come home. Ultimately, the Arabs, the Palestinians, the Muslims will have to tell a story that doesn't make it into defeat, but makes it into something that they can believe in. And then they will educate their children based on that, but only after they've acknowledged that they have no other choice and that the Jews are here to stay.